Hello, everyone. On today's IRS Tax Refund Update, as we have made it to the final week of 2022, we'll take a look at where things stand with the tax return backlog and the wait many of you continue to experience for your refunds as we begin the countdown to the 2023 tax filing season. Meanwhile, since our last update, the Treasury Department has released a report on the backlog and why the IRS is unlikely to clear the backlog before the start of the next tax season, forcing many of you to continue to wait, so we'll take a look at that as well. Now, due to the holiday, the IRS has not released its latest weekly update on the remaining backlog, but as of their latest update, the total amount of unprocessed tax returns, including both e-file and paper returns, was an estimated 2.5 million. Among that number include 1 million paper tax returns and another 1.5 million e-file returns, along with those requiring special processing. Once the updated numbers are released, we estimate that number to be at the 2 million mark. If the current processing trends continue, we expect the majority of those remaining paper returns to be processed and completed by the start of next tax season in late January, with unprocessed e-file returns carrying over into February. But that's why it is important to see the final update this week from the IRS to see if there were any major changes in the last week like we saw the week before in terms of processing. For those of you still waiting on your amended returns to be processed, based off the latest update, the total amount of unprocessed remains at 600,000. These returns are being processed at a much slower rate than other returns. However, they're being processed at a higher rate than they were in 2021. Where in some cases we had viewers who waited up to 14 months to have their amended return process and refund issued. Another very important number, especially for those of you who received 60-day notices because the IRS has not processed your employer's tax returns as of yet, is the total amount of unprocessed employer quarterly returns, which has dropped to 770,000. We saw a huge amount of these returns processed in the last 2 weeks, and that is going to be important for some of you still waiting on those refunds as a result. Now, turning to those tax refunds, with the final direct deposit refund batch set for December 28th, with the last batch of paper checks is scheduled to be mailed out on Friday, December 30th. These will be the final batches of the year, and also the last batches before those interest rates increase from 6% to 7%. For direct deposit refunds, do wait up until January 3rd before initiating a payment trace if you've not already received it as of that point. Earlier this year, the IRS Commissioner stated the tax return backlog would absolutely be cleared by the end of 2022, and as we reported at the time, we believed that to be unlikely given the amount of returns and time it was taking the IRS to process them. Our belief about this was all but confirmed in the past week, as the Treasury Department released a report on the backlog indicating their assessment that in fact this backlog will carry over into the 2023 tax season. Unfortunately, there are several factors that led us to that belief, including we entered the 2022 tax season seeing a massive backlog from the 2021 filing season, as well as the ongoing staffing and technology issues that have been impacting the IRS. Now, keep in mind, we're just talking about tax returns, not to mention the potentially millions of paper correspondence the IRS needs to go through, such as responses to IRS letters and requested documentation in regards to things such as audits. The report indicated the IRS is on track to complete paper returns by the end of the month, though we still believe that will carry over into January. However, the most concerning news of the goal estimate is for those of you who are amended return filers, which puts the completion of the amended return backlog not until June of 2023. Now, do note this was previously based off where the backlog was set in late October. If you're waiting on the IRS to review correspondence you sent to them in response to a letter you received or submitted requested documentation, such as items as part of an audit, or have complex amended tax returns, the estimated goal of completion by the IRS is not until April. Even though we're still focusing on the 2022 backlog, we're quickly approaching the next tax season. And as a reminder for you early filers, if you're claiming the Earned Income Tax Credit or Child Tax Credits, that by law the IRS cannot begin to process your tax returns until mid-February due to the PATH Act. Also, if you've earned over $600 from online sales on sites such as eBay or Etsy, please wait until you receive that 1099-K form before filing your taxes to avoid further delays next tax season. Let us know in the comments section below about your ongoing tax issues. In the meantime, we'll keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.